Hello, everyone. Um, First off, I'm going to go ahead and tell you up front I'm not a financial advisor, but I do know a few things about stuff that, different ways to look at things. Um, First off, I know this person who's older, and I was talking to them one day, and I suggested that they, why ain't they retired? They said, well, they only have Social Security and they can't really live on that. So, it's not enough money. Well, that's what we were going to talk about a little bit. Now, I've seen this said over and over again. Americans, a lot of them can't even put together $400 on an emergency basis. Now, this isn't the show cash and talk about it in that a show off way. It's just, I don't know about you, but I like to have some money set back in case there's something I want to get so I don't have to run off to the ATM and try to get in or take a loan for something, or if my battery in my car, quits working, well, truck, whatever. I like to have a little money, and this is over $400. But that's not the point of this. Now, I'll set that down. So, what you need to do is work your budget to where you're not spending every dime you make and you actually feel like you have money you can save. You know, one of the easiest ways to do it if you work at a place that offers a 401k is you know to contribute to your 401k. Now you have choices these days where you can either take a traditional 401k or you can have a Roth 401k. Roth is like a Roth IRA. You don't have to generally pay taxes on your gains because it's all post-tax money. Now a regular 401k, they take it out pre-tax, and then when you reach retirement age, you have to start taking mandatory, reimbursements from your fund, your 401k, annual. But so what, if you don't know nothing about mutual fund systems and 401ks and all that stuff, it's not real hard to learn. There's lots of information online. But generally, what a mutual fund is, if it's not an index fund and it's a managed fund, well, that means that the company that runs that fund takes money from people, through 401ks or through direct contributions, however they work it, through an advisor, brokers, whatever, and they take that money and invest it, and depending on what kind of funds it is, mutual fund, it could be over 100 different stocks in the fund. And then once they get going, they determine how much they paid for stocks and when they sell them, and they end up paying you dividends and capital gains as it goes forth. But all that works out to where that you have shares in this mutual fund or several. After a while, the numbers build up and they get staggering. But anyway, usually companies offer a match too. And what that means is if you put $1 in, they'll match it to some degree, be it a quarter, 50 cents, and usually up to a certain percentage, like 6, maybe 8%. So if you put back 8% of your pay into a 401k, they're going to add in, if it's 50%, they're going to add in 4%. Half whatever you put in at that point, half of what you put in is how much they're going to add up to that percentage. And it grows over time. So, or you could go the traditional IRA route and get a Roth IRA or a traditional one. The only real difference between them is a Roth or traditional IRA, the contribution limits are lower than what you can put in your 401k and you won't be getting a match. And depending on who you're doing it through, you may have to pay, you know, some kind of fee to your advisor. Usually your 401k fees are figured in through your company and stuff. And you may get fees along the way that are taken out of your account. But hello guys, how y'all doing? But anyway, once you've set up your 401k and every week or every other week or once a month, however they put the money in, when it goes in and it buys you shares, and then they go up and down every day, much like silver price goes up and down every day. Uh, so, if you have an old silver dollar like this, someone drilled a hole in this one too. I actually have two of them like that now for my treasure chest. I've got $8 coins for that. I feel like I'm doing good on it. But anyway, you end up with so many shares, and every year it gets to be more because the way you're buying all the time. And it's a lot of people use the term dollar cost averaging. That's kind of what you do if you're silver. If you buy a small amount every week, over time, some weeks you can't buy as much with the money because silver's higher. So anyway, what you don't want to get stuck is you reach retirement age and you've really not saved anything. Because that's the way it is, Social Security is going to be it unless you keep working. And you might not be able to work. Nobody knows what their health will be like when they reach retirement age. You hope it'll be good that where you could work if you wanted to, but you might not be able to. But so average American families, a lot of people say Americans can't put together $400. And this just shows that I could if I had to, for any emergency that might come up. It's not really trying to brag about it, because technically this much cash compared to how much silver I have in my treasure chest, this wouldn't buy it, even though it seems like there's a lot of cash here. I have, with this new Morgan dollar and a couple other coins, I have an $80 face, 90% US silver in my treasure chest. And even with that, I've been working for quite some time, putting money back in my 401k, and it dwarfs my silver stack, but it should after all this time. And it should be that way for a lot of you if you've been working a long time and you've been putting money back. Because the whole idea of this game, of life here, is to not get to the end and have nothing, be old, and have to live, and day to day hoping can find enough money to eat, or your bills go up all the time. I mean, like, our electric and gas prices lately have went up. So it's you just don't want to be in that situation, where you're like 70 something and you're working because you can't make ends meet on your Social Security. It was never intended to be your only thing. Most people I've heard talk about it say that Social Security is only supposed to be maybe 30 to 40%. That's nice, John. That's real nice. But like I said, your Social Security is only supposed to be like about 40% of your retirement. The other part was supposed to come from saving, investing, and whatever. Now, I don't view the silver as an investment. To me, it is a savings account. This stuff can be converted back into this later if I need to buy something. Because most people ain't going to directly take this for an item unless it's like a sole proprietor guy owns his own business and he likes silver, and you go in there and he has something in his business that you want to buy, and you know him and stuff, and you say, well, I don't have cash, but I do got a Morgan dollar. Will you take it for that item? Or, and he might do it because, it's his business and he can accept for payment whatever he wants to accept. Though usually a business accept cash, credit card, whatever, And I've seen some businesses say that they will now accept cryptocurrency for purchases. I don't know a whole lot about cryptocurrency, but it's a lot like this stuff. It ain't backed by nothing. Bitcoin isn't backed by any physical anything. It's just the belief that it will, you can buy or sell stuff in it's through a bit chain or blockchain, whatever. I don't know much about it, but all I know is it's not really it's not a tradable asset in the fact that there's nothing there but numbers on a computer somewhere. Okay, Frosty. I'll you got an email on your channel? I mean, AG Stacker sent me this one, and Old Country Coin Collector sent me that one. I've been waiting on a sticker from someone who said he was going to send me one, but he hasn't done it yet. But, little stacking perpetrator. Anyway, I've talked about having an emergency fund and then working out a plan for your future so that you don't get to retirement and you ain't got any money saved or anything saved. But we can talk about silver a little bit. Now, when I bought this, the guy who sold it to me, okay, he said that he could take this and put it in the ultrasound, clean it up a little bit, put a leather strap in it, and make a necklace out of it and sell it for more than what he wanted to sell it to me for. Been a little extra work for him to do it that way, but he held it out and he said, I don't know if you want this or not. I said, sure, I'll go ahead and take it because I love Morgan dollars and I need big coins in that chest to fill it. It's not a small chest. But anyway, where else was I going with this? Vatican City coins. This is made out of stainless steel. Too bad I ain't got a magnet down here to click on it, but doesn't look like it's ever been circulated. I mean, I'm gonna have a few scratches on it. But the price on eBay for these things ranged all over the place. I couldn't believe how much some people were asking for it because this was in a bag of world coins for 20 cents a piece. I picked out a bunch of coins out of there. He had a couple Churchill coins in it. But anyway, I don't know where else I'm going to go with this, but I'm going to look up Frosty and see if I can get in contact with him. How much do I even have in the stack anyway? 200, 300, 550, I guess. But yeah, you want to make a plan for the future so that you have a future that is going to be comfortable. You don't want to go into the future and have nothing. Of course, with the way inflation is, you're going to have to hope that you make more than what you thought you were going to make. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop this one for now, and I might go live again in a little bit with a different topic. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to leave it on and let people watch it. And maybe they can think about stuff a little different, especially watch the other one I did about setting up your budget. Because there's a lot of things you can do different than a lot of people do. And, sometimes you see people and they got a nice truck, boat, big house, um, all kinds of stuff. And you think, man, they must be loaded. They might be making good money, but they they may well be spending every dime they make making payments. They don't tell you that though. I mean, you go up and say, "That's a nice bike, nice boat you got there, nice truck, nice house." Well, I ain't telling you, you know, how much they're paying for all that stuff. I ain't telling you how much they got in the bank. They ain't showing you, yeah, I got this spare cash here that I'm saving for something in case something happens. They ain't telling you none of that. Most people ain't gonna tell you that because it's personal business, and they shouldn't tell you that. You know, you shouldn't advertise too much. I mean, doing a YouTube channel though kind of goes counter to that because I'm showing silver and sometimes dollar bills and stuff. It will put this up for a minute. Stuff poor. They're they're usually, I think the word he's really looking for is cash poor. They got lots of stuff but no cash because it's all going for payments. You know, but I'm not. I don't want to go too long, like I said, but I don't live my life quite the same way a lot of people I know do. They do silly stuff all the time. And then they always wonder why they don't have any money. You know, you can drive that car after you buy it a few extra years, after you paid it off and save that money. You know, I don't know, most cars these days, if you go out and buy a car, you're probably going to have a pretty big payment. And that means you're going to have to work to make that money. So, maybe you don't want to work that hard. Maybe when you get to be 60, 65, you might want to scale back your life a lot. But if you've got big payments, you're not going to be able to do that. I mean, if you bought your house young enough and it's going to be paid off before you retire, that's great. Don't go out and take a bunch of uh, cash out refinances on it and end up, taking a bunch of cash and having payments forever. I mean, it is an option you can do if you have to have money. You can't get it any other way, but I don't think it's real advisable. Once you pay your house off, though, you don't have to pay anybody. Then the house is yours, and you don't have a loan anymore. No mortgage. Whatever you're paying in your mortgage, you won't be paying it no more. And if you can get that done before well before you retire, you're going to be in a lot better shape than a lot of people are. But oh, the 2021 Chargers. Yeah. Yeah. It's hilarious, how much people will pay for stuff just for status. And in the end, that status really don't matter because you buy that 2020 Charger, you're making payments, you lose your job, and then you're like, I can't pay this no more. And you have to have someone take over the payments or sell the car, or sell other stuff to pay the car off so that you don't lose it, because you definitely don't want to be paying on something for a few years and then, well, I can't pay it no more, and then you no longer have it. That's why, stuff like this, it's physical. It's paid for now, and I'm going to have it somewhere, lockbox in the, at the bank, the safety deposit box, whatever I choose to do with long-term storage with this, it'll be there, you know. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much longer on this topic, but just know that you should make a plan so that you're not standing around at 70 years old having to work because all you have is Social Security. and it doesn't pay the bills. I mean, granted, if you have your house paid off before you retire and start collecting Social Security, you're going to be a little bit better off than someone who's still paying on a house and wants to retire. Because if you're still paying it after you retire, it's going to make it harder. You want that house paid off before you retire. And you also want, if you bought a new car or something, you want all that stuff paid off before you retire. You want your retirement to start off where you don't have to pull a whole lot of money from your 401k or Roth IRA or whatever you got. You don't want to have to pull a bunch of that cash to pay off loans. You want that to be to buy your food and pay, your life. I just want my retirement to be smooth. Yeah, Frosty, I think you're right. Um, I think you're right. Your generation, hell, all generations, my generation. I don't know how old you are. It's really not my business. I know how old I am. I know, working with people, and they talk about their finances all the time, and you hear them, well, I need more cash than I can make. And I'm like, well, your oldest truck is a 55 Chevy. Well, that's that's pretty cool. That thing you could probably sell it for a lot of money today. I mean, that's a classic. It's all original and looks really good. You can probably sell it for a lot of money if you had to. But then you'd be stuck with, well, I'll never be able to get that back because everybody's gonna want too much money for that now. Anyway, I hope you all have a good night. I'm gonna look around at a few things and see if I feel like I might want to do another live stream in an hour or so. I might not today. I might wait till tomorrow night. But like I said, hope you all have a good night, and we will see you next time.